Hey, I'm Oleg Christopher. Adults only, kids look away. It's about sex. Today we're talking about secret gays. Not all just one. But boy, what a story. Not him, though he came up. His godfather, actually.
А про його кумира Сталіна.
Equating USSR with Nazi Germany is peak cynicism, they say. On one board, what kind of phrase is that? Who even talks like that? Pirates had a punishment called walking the plank.
Прогулянка по дошці.
Putting Hitler on that plank with... Great idea. Putin should take a walk too, I think. As for comparisons, they're too late, sorry. Hitler and Stalin have been compared since the 30s. They were already copying each other back then. To mock them, Western press portrayed them as a gay couple. This war puts strange bedfellows together, doesn't it? Isn't that right, comrade? The sarcasm was twofold. Two tyrants who vowed to fight communism and fascism suddenly fell for each other. Well, hello there, little Hitler. Also, they actively fought against gays, making fools of themselves in the process. So this comparison was doubly offensive to them. Early on, the Nazi Party didn't state its stance on sexual minorities. In 1928, Hitler declared gays enemies to fix this oversight, claiming they robbed Germans of their masculinity. The Social Democrats immediately mocked him for this. They broadcast that Adolf's closest ally, Ernst Röhm, creator of Nazi stormtroopers, was an open gay man, frequenting clubs and recruiting his lovers as stormtroopers. Adolf became a joke to opposition press, suspected of liking boys. Many reasons. Führer unmarried, surrounded by men, secret lovers. Suspicious behavior noted by tabloids and serious outlets. US intel told Roosevelt during war, Hitler's gay and a sadist. Führer furious. Röhm shot socialists, ousted, gays jailed en masse.
Їх кидали в тюрми і концтабори десятками тисяч.
For homosexuality or sodomy, a term Putin forgot, which was how male homosexuality was awkwardly labeled in the Soviet criminal code.
Слово, яке забув Путін – мужеложество. Саме так неоковирно називали чоловічу гомосексуальність в радянському кримінальному кодексі.
Union republics also mentioned pederasty, a term for same-sex relations in early 20th century sexology. Back then, it was seen as a sexual disorder. From the criminal code, this word and its variants entered Soviet citizens' everyday speech, but its meaning greatly expanded. We can read about this in the classic encyclopedia of Ukrainian studies by Oleksandr Kryvenko and Volodymyr Pavlov. In ex-Soviet countries, pederast is slang only loosely related to homosexuality. Its forms, pidar, pedik, piderasina, etc., are common even among those who can't define homosexuality.
Відповісти на просте запитання, хто такі гомосексуалісти і чого вони хочуть.
However, Soviet state homophobia began quite differently from Hitler's approach. On the contrary, the Bolsheviks repealed the punishment that was used in the Russian Empire against homosexuals after the revolution. Their clubs began appearing throughout Russia. Here are some photos of the Petrograd gay club members from the early 1920s. There were many homosexuals within the Bolshevik elite. Georgy Chicherin, the first People's Commissar for Foreign Affairs of the USSR, did not conceal his preferences. Politburo member Nikolai Bukharin was also regarded as gay. Lenin referred to him as the party's favorite, while Stalin simply called him Bukharchik. Bukharchik, however, had broad interests and was attracted not only to men, but also to underage girls. As the power struggle intensified, Stalin sent the disgraced Bukharin on a mission to Paris to buy Karl Marx's archives, and he was accompanied by his new 16-year-old wife. The passionate 47-year-old Bolshevik Bukharin couldn't resist, not waiting for her to reach adulthood. At the time, this wasn't an issue, but in the 30s, the repression machinery accelerated, making Stalin increasingly seek reasons to send people to camps. So in 1934, tolerance in the Soviet Union came to an end. Criminal codes in all republics introduced sodomy laws. Their scope was vast, I quote, against sodomy, not just in the narrow sense, but as an antisocial sexual act between men in any form. This wording allowed them to imprison anyone, intellectuals, soldiers, workers, and peasants. Later, an awkward situation arose when it was time to remove the Great Terror's perpetrators. It turned out that the biggest anti-gay crusader, NKVD chief Nikolai Yazhov, was himself guilty of sodomy, the only charge he admitted in court. Ironically, the Iron Commissar Nikolai Yazhov was an active homosexual, though this didn't stop him from also having relationships with women. By the way, Yazhov was nicknamed the Bloody Dwarf behind his back. Ring any bells? Well, you know what I'm getting at. But his gay confusion didn't stop anyone. In the USSR, about 250,000 were jailed for sodomy, 5 times more than in Nazi Germany. Yazhov, like party favorite Bukharin, was also executed. He tried to save himself in an odd way. At one of his last Politburo meetings, he suddenly said, "I'm not saying I loved Stalin in 28, but now I love him with all my soul." In a letter to Stalin, he confessed, "In summer 28, I visited you, and you said, 'You know why we're friends? You can't intrigue.' I said, 'Yes.' But I was also seeing Kamenev then, first encounter. What's he on about? Still politics or hinting at something? Should Stalin have been jailed for sodomy too? Dad, can one be gay and a cannibal at the same time? Nikita, absolutely not. Official history, Stalin married twice, had at least 3 kids. Just like Bukharin, he went after minors. Pre-revolution, Stalin impregnated a 14-year-old. He started living with his second wife, Nadezhda, when she was only 15. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What's apparent at first glance? Stalin made comrades dance, watched them, and kissed men deeply. He enjoyed constant love declarations, not respect as a leader, but love, like from Bukharin. Soviet peoples brought warm feelings of love, devotion, and gratitude to their comrade. Modern Russian biographies of the tyrant evoke odd associations like these passages. Stalin loved, though more pragmatically than emotionally. It's hard to say what was in his mind, but we can try. Thanks to his security chief, General Nikolai Vlasic, he had an unusual hobby. He collected Stalin's discarded items, notes, and drawings from napkins on which Stalin left autographs. After Stalin's death, Vlasic was arrested, collection seized. 16 drawings resurfaced, quite impressive. The people's leader and athlete's friend collected sketches by famous artists like Repin and Surikov, but only those depicting nude male models. He'd add humorous captions in his favorite blue pencil, like, "Scared of sun? Don't sit bare-bottomed on stones. Join Komsomol or study. Stop wall-picking. One thoughtful fool's worse than 10 enemies." In some portraits, Stalin recognized acquaintances alive or killed by him and addressed them as if they were present. This alludes to Karl Radek, Comintern secretary, executed on Stalin's orders. Stalin called one portrait Georgy Plekhanov, a deceased socialist who opposed the October Revolution and resulting civil war. Caption: "Why call back, you troublemaker and outcast?" Outcast, person deprived of civil rights in Stalin's USSR. Tyrant recognized all-union elder Mikhail Kalinin, writing, "Why so thin, Mikhail Ivanovich? Work on Marxism, not self-indulgence." There are worse jokes like "work, don't masturbate." Stalin accused this youth of idleness. "We have plenty of such idlers." Philosopher: "Exactly. This fool forgot his job, hinting one portrait should interact with another while it sleeps."
Серйозно? Він натякає, що одному натурнику треба трахнути іншого, поки той спить?
Witnesses say Stalin often doodled devils during meetings. His secretary would collect and destroy these sketches, but one survived. It's about inspecting the finance commissariat. Hanging is Nikolai Brukhanov, acting commissar. A note was attached to the drawing, to all Politburo members. Brukhanov, for his sins, present and future, hang him by the balls. If they hold, he's innocent, like being acquitted in court. If they tear off, drown him in the river.
Drowning in the river, to me, isn't a joke or humor, but a stupid, brutal abuse by an all-powerful tyrant over his slaves and sycophants, even showy. Stalin's drawing with the note was circulated among Presidium members, kept by Politburo's technical secretary Georgy Malenkov, while the commissar was later executed after unknown torture.
Another form of creativity emerged. He was fascinated by cinema, watched and approved new films, even read scripts and interfered in shoots. Before the war, he ordered a film about himself, or rather about himself as Tsar Ivan the Terrible. This is how the Tsar is introduced at the start of the film. Stalin personally reviewed the script, watched all the footage, and released the film. It became a sensation in the West as the first Soviet homoerotic drama. Everything here is telling. This isn't a scorned girl with a bare shoulder, but a young Tsar.
Молодий цар.
Неизвестно, от кого она побоилась щадить.
At his coronation, he becomes a tall, handsome man with lined eyes. When his wife dies, a loyal companion replaces her.
Вірний товариш.
The royal palace shrinks. When the Tsar celebrates victory over traitors, his favorite dances before him in women's clothing.
Сарафані.
Does Putin know all this? Undoubtedly, and clearly not just what we found in open sources. We now know Stalin in ways we never did before. Despite everything, he's pushing for the re-Stalinization of modern Russia. Tyrants get monuments, while you, the people, are scorned. Always supportive, as the Rabfak group mocked.
Група Рабфак.
3 days, mausoleum flags, Stalin's crutches, Stalin's boys, no more. Mass repressions return, hunting foreign agents and gays.
Передусім іноземних агентів і гомосексуалів.
Only some Russians make direct connections.
Прямі асоціації.
State homophobia, introduced with such wording, suggests the country's run by queers.
Это признак того, что, в общем-то, страной правят пидорасы.
Така думка
A Russian
російського
dissident's
президента.
view.
Ми ж
We're not
нічого не
hinting,
натякаємо.
just noting history
Правда,
repeats,
те, що
teaching
історія
nothing.
завжди повторюється, але, як завжди, нічого не вчить.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am
Like, comment,
Відео
subscribe.
Пишіть коментарі і підписуйтесь на наш канал.
See you next week.
Через тиждень.